In 1964, a naval incident in Vietnam triggered a war. But years later, U.S. officials admitted the second attack, the one that started it all, probably never happened. The Gulf of Tonkin incident refers to two alleged attacks on U.S. Navy ships by North Vietnamese boats on August 2nd and August 4th, 1964. On August 2nd, the USS Maddox exchanged fire with North Vietnamese patrol boats. That first skirmish was real and well documented. 2 days later, the Maddox, now joined by the USS Turner Joy, reported another torpedo attack during a storm. But something felt off. Sonar readings, radar blips, and visual reports didn't align. Crew members reported poor visibility and misidentified wave reflections as torpedoes. Within hours, President Lyndon Johnson ordered airstrikes and addressed the nation. He said the U.S. had been attacked again. On August 7th, Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, giving Johnson sweeping authority to use military force in Southeast Asia. With the resolution in hand, the U.S. rapidly escalated its involvement. What began as advisors became full-scale combat operations. Even in 1964, some intelligence officers questioned the August 4th reports. Evidence was thin, but the doubts stayed classified. Navy pilot James Stockdale flew overhead during the second incident. His words, "There was nothing there but Black Sea and American firepower." Internal NSA memos from 1964 show analysts cherry-picked intercepts that supported an attack and discarded those that didn't. Some of the reported enemy movements didn't match North Vietnamese naval activity. It looked more like fear and confusion than a real ambush. Top brass faced pressure from the White House to confirm an attack. Analysts admit they gave Washington what it wanted to hear. By 1965, some insiders began to whisper, the second attack didn't happen. But correcting the record meant questioning a war already underway. LBJ later told an aide, "Hell, those dumb, stupid sailors were just shooting at flying fish." He had doubts, but kept quiet publicly. Despite early warnings, military leaders doubled down. Admitting uncertainty risked weakening the war effort, so the lie held. By the time doubt surfaced, it was too late. The U.S. was entrenched in Vietnam. The Gulf of Tonkin became a political point of no return. Over the years, former analysts, pilots, and officers spoke out, saying the truth was buried and the public was misled. In 2005, the NSA declassified files showing no evidence of an attack on August 4th. The radar evidence was nothing but noise and waves. Defense Secretary McNamara later admitted the evidence for the second attack was shaky. He called it a tragedy based on flawed judgment. For families who lost loved ones in Vietnam, the confession landed hard. The war began with a lie and cost more than 58,000 U.S. lives. Estimates say up to 3 million Vietnamese were killed during the conflict, a war launched partly on a phantom naval battle. Historians now link Tonkin to other war triggers, like the USS Maine or Iraq's WMD claims. Big decisions built on weak evidence. The Tonkin incident became a case study in how misinformation shapes national policy, and how easily truth gets bent for power. Despite the Tonkin confession, similar patterns repeat. Premature action, media hype, and unchecked authority lead to irreversible damage. Media outlets at the time largely accepted the official story without question. It took decades for investigative journalism to catch up. Today, political science courses worldwide use Gulf of Tonkin as a cautionary tale of war, power, and manipulated intelligence. The real damage wasn't just military, it was trust. Citizens questioned their government, and confidence in institutions began to crumble. No enemy boats were ever confirmed on August 4th, just black waves, radar ghosts, and fear. Used to justify a decade of war, no one was prosecuted for the Tonkin deception, careers continued, but the blood spilled was real and history keeps the receipt. Tonkin remains a reminder, truth often comes late, and only after the damage is irreversible. Hindsight doesn't heal graves. Though hidden for decades, the files said it all along. The second attack was a mirage, but the war it justified was very real. In an age of drone strikes, cyber warfare, and AI surveillance, Tonkin isn't just history, it's a warning that still applies. What if your government started a war based on a ghost? Like, comment and subscribe to Twilight Truths for more stories built on silence and shadow.